All right. So welcome, everyone. This is the regular City Council meeting for Minnetrista, April 6, 2026. First order, I'd like to everybody reminder, put your cell phones on airplane mode or silent. And then second, would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So again, welcome everyone here this evening, as well as those watching on YouTube later on. I'm going to start with some introductions. I'm Lisa Whalen. I am the mayor, and to my left are council members. They need to get their names straight. So council members, we have Kathleen Refkin, Claudia Lacey, and Brian Govern. And then on the end over here, we have staff members, Gary Peters, who is our Public Works Director, and then we have Paula Baumann, who is our Assistant Administrator. To my right, we have Jasper Krugel, our City Administrator. Brian Grimm is our Finance Director, David Abel, Community Development Director, and then we have our Chief of Police, Craig Squires. With that, and then I think, do we have anybody remote this evening?
Just City Clerk Ann Meyerhoff and our City Attorney.
All right, so welcome Ann, and welcome Sarah Sansala, who is our City Attorney. And Ann Meyerhoff is taking notes. She is our City Clerk. With that, is there a motion? Are there any changes to our agenda? Hearing none, then is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Refkin. Is our second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Lacey. Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. We don't have any special presentations this evening. We do have one individual here this evening that would like to address the council. Mr. Tyson, if you could come to the podium, please. Just state your name and address for the record. You'll have a few minutes. We usually give you 3 minutes to address the council. We don't generally take action on any specific requests at this time, but staff or council could direct staff to bring it back at a future meeting. Okay. So welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Jim Tyson, 1295 Elmwood Avenue. On March 2nd, 2026, the Lake Minnetonka Advocates sent to all of you an email regarding lake improvement districts, or LIDs for short. I'm here tonight representing this group. I have a copy of that email here for public record. I would encourage you to reference the original email, as there were many hyperlinks to support the information provided. Any questions about LIDs? Everyone familiar or seen it?
Right, yep.
The LIDs were intended to maximize fundraising and the primary goal of maximizing herbicide treatment. The purpose of this email was to inform all 14 cities on Lake Minnetonka regarding lake improvement districts and the DNR rules and city and/or citizens' risks. We have learned through the citizen petition process offers little clarity to these rules and risks. To date, we have stopped the creation of LIDs in Forest Lake, Orono, and Harrison's Bay Mound through the campaign of informing residents and cities of the LIDs. I would like to reference just some of the highlights that were in that original email. There's too much content, but I hope you have had an opportunity to read. The petition process lacks transparency and informed consent. Liability shifts away from the state, it puts it on the residents, and then shifts ultimately to the city if the LID is disbanded. Chemical herbicides are the default. Some are classified as PFAS, habitat loss, and unintended consequences. You recently appointed LMC Representative Jane Anderson. She was an original organizer of the Harrison's Bay Association and a strong supporter of the creation of LID in Harrison's Bay. As I stated earlier, we got that disbanded through the city, where they did not authorize its formation. Our concerns is she will attempt to create a LID in Halstead's Bay and wipe out the vegetation as they did in Harrison's Bay.
Thank you.
Tonight, I'd like to, in addition to what I sent you previously, and I've sent all of this just today, these attachments, all of your emails, more science-based. So this really spoke to the LID and the structure and the rules, rules related. This is now more science-based. The DNR has a document on their website, permits issued with a variance, and it talks about milfoil and when do you want to go above and beyond the 15% littoral acres. If a lake is clarity as indicated by CG depth of 2 meters or less, which is the case of Halstead's Bay, it is an impaired body of water. As
Yeah,
is-
we're aware of that, as are a number of other bays.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
There's 5 or 6 of them on Lake Minnetonka. I happen to live on Forest Lake, so I'm fully aware of
Yeah.
the impaired. So what I'm pointing out here is the DNR has specific guidelines for managing impaired water.
Right,
And what's happened over in Stubbs Bay, even though they're impaired water, they have charged ahead with full bay treatments. And it's actually, if you read the document, it's detrimental. A lot of the organizers suggest that by managing the invasives and it allows the natives to come back. And they said you can check it out with the University of Minnesota. I went to the,
I'm going to give you one more minute.
Yep.
But and then I'll make a comment.
Okay, fair enough. So the University of Minnesota, the Invasive Species Research Department says there's an upcoming webinar. Current efforts to manage invasive plants in lakes rely on repeated herbicide treatments, which are costly and rarely lead to long-term control and native plant recovery. Although everyone is telling us that that's exactly what happens.
Right. So here's the thing. We have not had any request at this point for a lid within our jurisdiction, if you will. And so we probably wouldn't, we're not going to take any action.
No, I'm not asking that you take any.
Yeah, correct. And then if a request were to come in, we would then have to discuss it amongst the entire council. And obviously it would be an open public meeting. We would take pros and cons, take comments from both sides before any decision would be made. But this information is good to have in advance if that request were to come through.
Yep.
So, all right. And we have, yes, we saw your email. Unfortunately, an email to each of us, we can't go and discuss it outside of a city council meeting. So at some point, like I said, if an application were to come, that's when we would be discussing it at the council level.
Yep.
So,
And I fully understand that process. And my intent was for the cities to understand the lid structure, because that's clearly what we found was not happening.
right,
The petition process, it does not share the information with those that are signing it. What happened in Forest Lake is 70% of the residents signed a petition in favor. Until a counter petition was created, 46% of those people that signed the counter petition to oppose it
right.
had signed in favor of it. So it's really about getting information out there is what we're attempting to do.
Is your phone number on your letter?
No, on the sign-in sheet though it is.
It is, yeah.
Thank you.
And it's really just trying to offer information, because what we're finding is that it is very misleading, or I don't know if it's intentional, but there's a lot of information that's lacking as it's gone through the process.
Sure.
So we've seen it go through Mound. The city mayor said something in the meeting when it got struck down there. He said, very interesting. He said, we have a $60 million water filtration issue going on in Mound. We had 7 people show up at Chamber. The night that we had this lid that they tried to enact in Mound, it was packed. And the polar opposite positions people took, and Mound eventually struck it down. He said it was quite interesting that
Right.
we have this $60 million water filtration project going on and nobody shows up, but it was packed for a lid.
Yeah, it's interesting, I know. All right, well, thank you very much.
Really
And,
trying to share information, and
Yeah.
we sent it to all 14 cities around.
all right, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And I can leave all of these documents with who, just as.
Yeah, please do. Hand them over to our police chief there, and that would be great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks
We
for your
have,
time.
thank you. We have Paul Lang. We like to move along.
I came here last fall.
Yes.
Maybe some of you recognize me, and I'll probably come here every few months.
Okay, that's okay, yes.
Annoying. But we live over on Wood Edge Road,
Mm-hmm.
a little tiny road that's surrounded by tar pavement sidewalks, and we're the only road in the whole area that doesn't have tar on it, in that area. Yes, if you go out farther.
Right.
And we're kind of just begging to try to get on the list. I saw the letter come out from the city of Minnetrista, and I see all the equipment will be out there. They're going to be out tarring and resurfacing and everything on West Edge. And I'm thinking, why couldn't they have just had the equipment,
I think,
our
yeah.
road, and just do it all at
Do
the
it all
same
the same time. So I think we asked our engineer to give us some high level, some idea as to what it would cost, because I think we would have to share that with you so that you would know what, because there would be an assessment and that it can be fairly steep. I know that a lot of times when it goes from a gravel road to a bituminous surface, obviously the value of your home goes up, and so the assessments can be rather significant. I know the last time we did that, it was around $14,000 per, and that was like 10 years ago. So just so you're aware of that. I don't know, do we know where we're at? I know we talked about this
That kind of
before.
hurt both, that we wouldn't have an assessment.
Oh, no, you would have an assessment.
Yeah, and well,
Yeah.
and if I made the actual policy for gravel to asphalt is 100% participation, so it'd be different than the 14,
Well, we've never, no, we've never done 100%.
And that's probably our policy.
that's what it says.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Grab, or, I mean,
Okay.
what,
Sure.
deviated from that a little bit, yeah.
Sure, sure.
No.
I can't remember the cost. I was just gonna pull it up on our GIS just to see what, if we
Okay.
have, like, if we have an estimate. I'd have to look it back up.
I know
but-
that Allison was going to put together some dollar amount, and obviously, because it is such a small road or such a short stretch, we would probably want to kind of put that together with another project in order, because of course, then you could save a little bit. But I think it's what, a half a mile, if even that?
Right.
Yeah, this was on slated with the project right now, but when everything got eliminated off, because we were at, was it 8.8 million? And then
Okay.
you guys wanted to knock it down to a third of that, so a lot of stuff got taken off, and that was one of them that got taken off too, so.
We were close, though. We were kind of being.
You were on the cusp, almost. But here's the other thing, Gary, or maybe Jasper, we have another, probably not next year, but then, so we kind of do a big project and we bond for it, then we kind of wait a few years, and then we do another big project or projects, multiple ones, and bond for those. I don't think we're going to be bonding for anything for another couple years. This is just current situation. Things can change, it's fluid, but I think the plan is to bond again in 29, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you might, no promises, I don't want to give you false hope, but possibly then we could look at doing that, because it's going to be,
It's just a shy of $1 million.
right, so,
To redo that road. I mean, that would be similar to Halsted, where a complete redo.
it would be a reconstruct, right?
Reconstructed, and at that time, you'd probably maybe want to, I don't know if you want to consider, there's water available there, do we want to run water up at that point? I mean, that's something to consider too in the future, but just the road itself is just shy of $1 million to
Okay.
redo it.
Yeah, so keep coming. You don't have to come every month. But maybe every 6 months.
Get assessed. If you do put a plan together and figure out what that assessment would that be something that would be ahead of time? It might go out to everybody in the next 3 months, here's what it might be, or the next, just so we know that.
So the process was, we really wouldn't know what the actual assessment is until we get the bids back. So we would do we would have a high level idea.
Yeah, right.
And then what we usually do is a neighborhood meeting. And we tell people, here's the project that we're thinking of doing, and here's what your assessment would potentially be, most likely. And then the people can say, oh, yeah, okay, that's great. Or sometimes they say, no, we don't want to do this.
So
But-
does it have to be unanimous one way or the other?
Well,
Oh.
no, and the city could actually decide, if the city says, no, we're going to do this, regardless of whether you want it or not, we could do it. Generally, if there's a vast majority that don't want it, we don't do it.
They don't want to pay that assessment, whatever. it is.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But then you go to the bottom of the list. So just so you know.
Right. And then that assessment, if I understand those, they put like over a 20-year?
A 20-year period, yes. Yeah, you don't have to pay it all at once.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that would all be explained at that neighborhood meeting.
Okay.
And the neighborhood meeting would generally take place somewhere spring, fallish, well before the project would be bid and let.
Okay.
So,
Well,
okay.
thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
And thanks for coming again. All right.
Okay.
All right. Kind of keep that on our radar screen, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, if we'd want to add it to the CIP for a future year, we
I
could,
think
we
we
could look
should.
at doing that. I mean, I just pulled up our web application for, and it's not even on there at all for any improvement. So if we wanted to look at it.
It hasn't been updated since we just pulled that off, so we're
Okay,
trying to
yeah. So-
reschedule everything that was pulled off to
Right.
trying to make that work now, so.
So
Yeah,
it would be like a
add it.
2029.
Right, add it, because if we're going to do another bond in 29, let's say, then at least it's on the radar screen and we can look at it. Okay, all right. So next we have our consent agenda items. Are there any you wish to remove for discussion? All right, so our consent agenda items consist of approve our work session meeting minutes from March 16th, 2026, approve our city council regular meeting minutes from March 16th, 2026. C is approve a resolution for our approving claims. D is a resolution approving the setback variances at 7041 Halsted Drive. E is a resolution to approve our text amendment to a comprehensive plan. F is a resolution authorizing the distribution of the EAW. And G is a resolution to award equipment CIP purchase for truck number 2 as a replacement. And then H is also a CIP purchase, and that would be truck number 5, also replacing truck number 5. Any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve consent agenda item A through H?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Lacy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Refkin. Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion passes. So we have no public hearing or no business items. So we can, and you are here for what?
I would have been on time, but the fire department wouldn't let me through.
This time, we will make a one-time exception. I know. Are you here under persons to be heard?
Yes.
Okay, then can you give us your written name and address, and then you can come to the podium, and we'll give you 3 minutes, okay? You can add it to this one.
I did not, oh, Lisa's got a pen.
Okay. And yes, there has, 110 is closed for a while. They think, Chief, I think it should be open again in a few more hours?
Yeah, probably 1.5 to 2 hours, we're
Okay.
looking.
Say, chief.
All right. So
Gotta go a long way home.
Yeah, we got a long way.
Yeah, you do. But I think Highland is open now.
No, wasn't one coming.
Well, Gary says it's supposed to be open.
I want a card from you, Gary.
You're going through St.
I'll
Paul.
check
So
and see, right?
you'll have to go to the podium there and speak into the,
Yep, that's Paul.
Perfect, thank you.
okay.
3 minutes, huh?
Yes, you have 3 minutes.
All right, I'll be quick. So when I was very young, took a family vacation to Breckenridge, Colorado. And at a very young age, on my own, I looked around and I thought, this is really cool. They had such a good sign ordinance that it just made the town look neat. And I don't think Minnetrista needs to try to be or look like Breckenridge, but it's just something that stuck with me. And there are a lot of people in Minnetrista who have decided to be entrepreneurs, and I'm very happy for them, and I wish them all the success in the world. But I think it's unfortunate that they think being in business gives them the right to clutter the intersections with their signs.
Yeah.
And I've done some research, and I found cities and counties and a whole state that has ordinances or laws that impose fines. And I wouldn't want to do it to be punitive, but just to demonstrate, a lot of the signs are the same people every year. The mulch people, the mosquito spray, the gutter cleaning in the windows, and they just keep putting them up. The intersection by my house just gets full. And I'm sure often, well, I know times the top of the sign gets separated and then the wire frame is there, and either your coworkers or the county gets those things wrapped in the blades of their mower. They got to haul the mower back, put it up
take the deck apart and fix it. And it just looks bad, I think. So I am very interested in encouraging the city to add fines. And the reason I think it would work is if you contact the people and say, hey, you got 2 weeks to get these down.
We don't give them 2 weeks. We just take them down.
I understand. that. But you have to pay, but they keep putting more up.
Yeah.
You take them down, they put, you only do it once or twice a year, I think.
Well, we do it on a complaint basis because, and we can also ask our police if they're cruising around, pick them up if they see them.
They don't.
But they have, well, the reason being is our police have a lot of other things they need to do that are far more important.
So let's encourage
yeah.
these people to stop by
Right.
making it clear
Sure.
to them. I'm convinced that 90% of the time it's the repeat offenders.
Sure.
And once they know it, 90% of the signs will stop.
Yeah. And we can look at that. There may be an issue with if we can impose a fine. I don't know.
Well,
have to
that's
have an
why I
ordinance,
looked
remember?
into it. Other cities around the country
Okay.
have done it. And
Okay.
Edmonton, Oklahoma has a $200 fine.
Okay. Well, how about this? We will look into this and we will have staff bring something back to a work session so we can get all of the details that we would need. So, and I know you're not the only one that thinks this, so,
Looks bad.
yeah. All
I
right.
think it would save the city, there'd be a little bit of enforcement. These few offenders would find out, and I think 90% of the problem would go away. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you. So we'll add that to a future work session?
Yeah, I mean,
be-
we do have a sign ordinance that
Right.
doesn't
There's
allow
no
it.
penalty.
There's no penalty. Sarah is listening. We likely can't do an administrative fine for
Why?
this. Well, we went through this a few times.
So you have a,
Sarah can talk. Yeah, they're not really, there's no statutory authority for us to have a fine.
so then what's the point of an ordinance?
Well, we can enforce our ordinance by taking the sign, but we can't fine them. I don't know, Sarah, if you want to weigh in on the sign ordinance and administrative fines and give a little update.
It's fine. Can we call it something else?
Well, how can, Chris was just saying some other state has a $200 fine.
Might be it's a different state.
It's a different state.
It's a state. It's a state thing.
So I tell you what, this wasn't on our agenda. There might be some more information that would be helpful. So Sarah, put something together, either do something in our informational packet or else we could bring it back for a brief discussion at a future work session. But I do know and then we can also talk, we can have the police weigh in, what they can do, what they can't do. Maybe Public Works, what they can do, what they can't do. So let's just bring it back, if that's okay. I think we need more information.
Sure.
So, all right, we'll bring it back maybe sometime in June? I mean, I don't know what we have scheduled, but.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get some
All
information
right.
out.
All right, sounds good. I know we've had other complaints too. This isn't the first, so. That concludes our business items. We'll move on to staff reports.
Madam Mayor, members of City Council, I don't really have much to update other than Trista Day is coming up on May 13th.
Which is a Wednesday,
Yep.
so it's,
So hopefully the weather cooperates and we can, it's our first time trying it as a Wednesday. So we'll see. Everything's in order. The police department and Amy over there have done a great job of organizing things. So that's happening. We're still continuing to push and communicate with our legislators about our bonding request, and we'll keep doing that until the session ends. There might be a flurry of activity come maybe around May 10th, May 12th, once we getting closer to the end of the session, when the bonding bill starts getting maybe discussed, if there is one. So plugging away at that, trying to think. I know we had a couple meetings for fire, and well, I had a meeting with fire just to kind of talk about the future of our fire partnership meetings, which we likely won't have a meeting until June.
yeah. So I think the most recent one, which was supposed to be next week, has been canceled. Again, the hiccup has been the relief for the pension funds, because they're different funds. And so you have to, by state statute, have the same fund in order to merge. You can't have two different ones. So I've even talked to some of our state legislators to see if they can change the wording or change the law where it could be two different ones together, or that they would have some funding available in order to offset the cost of merging the two, because there would be a cost. So we're working on that too. And then I think, Jasper, you're going with me on Thursday?
Yeah,
I have a chauffeur. So Jasper and I are going to be down at the state capitol. Andrew Myers, our representative, asked if I could testify to a committee regarding the Highway 7 corridor. MnDOT has asked for some additional funding for safety things on Highway 7, and we're going to go down saying we're all in favor of the, I think it's 11 million that they're asking for, but we want it specifically earmarked for roundabouts and not the raised median, because that would really, really stymie and prohibit us from development and or even current neighborhoods. So we will make that very, very clear that we're all in favor of the additional dollars, and they would be desperately needed for roundabouts, which would actually help safety on this corridor. So that's kind of our thing that we're going to be saying.
The TV turned off.
And then the other thing I just want to point out, again, just for general information, it's on our website. This year, the open book dates there's multiple dates. So if you have an issue with the valuation of your property and you wish to talk to the assessor, there's I don't know, 6 or 7 different dates that you can go to, and you just look on the website. It'll tell you where they are. So it doesn't have to be in Minnetrista. So there might be one in Robbinsdale on a Wednesday afternoon that you could go to, or maybe there's a Thursday evening or something. So just look at the dates and the time, and then you can go to any of those, no matter what community you're in. You might want to call the assessor a little bit ahead of time to see if you need an appointment. I don't think you need an appointment, but you might want to just call and check on that. I attended the Northwest League, and let's see, we talked about a number of things. Kevin Anderson was there. The other thing that the chief and I signed on to a letter, and it was regarding funding for the Hennepin County Sheriff's Department. And we both felt very strongly that they needed to continue to fully fund the Sheriff's Department. And so there was a very, very narrow window time frame in which to sign on to this letter. And so both of us felt it was very important, and we signed on to it. I won't go into all the details here tonight, but basically one of the commissioners felt that the Sheriff's Department shouldn't be patrolling the cities. Well, they don't really patrol the cities out here, but there's a lot of other things that we partner with the Sheriff's Department on, and that's DTF, that's the Drug Task Force, there's the Crime Lab, they come and help and support us when there's incidents that are big incidents out here. So we really do need them, and we need them to be fully funded. So we just expressed our concern about that. I don't think that there will be any cuts, or that I don't think anything will happen, but we wanted to be sure to be on record about that. That's the only thing I can think of. I'll be attending the Northwest League this week, and then the meeting downtown. And
So for the Hennepin County Sheriff cuts, when Kevin was here, he said they were doing cuts. So you think they won't do them now?
no, I think that it'll be
50 positions?
well.
That's not the Sheriff's Department. That was something else. But.
I think that they're going to be fully funded. What the chatter was about defunding or seriously defunding it, and I think that was the issue. So they might have to make some cuts, but they're still going to offer the Crime Lab and the Drug Task Force and the other things that they've been funding. One of the issues that they've had is getting people, employees for their jails. And that was the big thing last year, the big thing that ran them over budget. So I think they're in better shape this year now to be able to staff the jails with staff. last year they were so short that they had to send people to other facilities and contract with them. So that's really what caused a big problem. So we'll keep tabs on it, and we'll keep talking with them to make sure that, because, public safety, and I said this to Kevin Anderson, is please relay the message to the rest of the commissioners that public safety, especially out here, we value public safety, and that's one of our #1 priorities. And so I think he heard that loud and clear, and I think he's on board with that. Anything else you need to add to that, Chief?
Nope, I think that covers it. Especially crime lab is massive for us. If they're very specially trained in forensics, if crime lab went away, we'd be relying on the BCA, and if all of Hennepin County relied on the BCA, it would be detrimental to the entire state. So elements like crime lab, water patrol, and that's just it's needed. It's greatly needed. So, and we appreciate their partnership.
And then Kevin Anderson will be hosting a town hall meeting here in Minnetrista at the Gale Woods facilities on June 16th, and I will be there as one of the hosts, I guess. I'm not sure how to say that, but I'll be there probably to introduce him. So if you have questions or you would like to attend, please feel free. Don't forget, on May 5th, we have our State of the City address. I asked Jasper to get the invites out, get those printed as soon as possible. So if you would like to send some to people you know, neighbors, friends, family within the city, let Paula know so that we can get those out. I'll be sending out some as well. So that is going to be held again at the Burl Oaks, which is now renamed to Crooked Water Golf Course, but we're just going to call it Burl Oaks for now because everybody knows that. And that'll be on May 5th, I think, starting at 5:30. So 5:30, and we'll start the presentation around 6 o'clock. I hope you can all make it. Again, there'll be a cash bar and hors d'oeuvres. And then the other thing, I just want to mention this briefly. So you saw the newsletter. People do read it. I've gotten several calls, positive calls, which is good. But one of the things I told staff is we need to have a set size for the council profiles because we don't want to have it seem like we are promoting one council member over the other one. And I know it was rather large this last time. And so we're just going to have a set size for the council profiles, and everybody gets the same size and same amount.
And there was a lot of typos in it too.
Yeah.
To recheck
so we'll recheck the typos. So, but anyhow, just so you know, we weren't it wasn't like
I want to reclaim more space.
yeah, okay.
Perfectly fine with my tiny little column when it was my turn.
So anyhow, so we kind of discussed that. But anyhow, no, we want to give everybody equal chance, equal opportunity. So that's all I have. Anything else? All right. So with that, motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Thank you. And is there a second?
Second?
Thank you, Mr. Govern. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. We are adjourned.
Time for the basketball.